when did Haskel step into this leadership type role?
I would say it was how I was raised. I lost my mom when I was 6, and she was in a diabetic coma from 3 to 6. Then not having a father in my life, being raised by my grandmother, brought things that I had to kind of grow up fast, and I was raised around my uncles and aunties. Saw a lot of things that I probably shouldn't have seen, but I think what that did is it grew me up kind of thinking about self-preservation, survival methods. Like, how do you last? How do you stick in there when things get tough? So from that perspective, I started playing sports, and sports really helped me identify leadership qualities, longevity, sustainability. How do you get to the goal line? How do you finish? How do you finish when things are hard? So one of the first opportunities was I was in a singing group signed to Motown.
Oh, y'all, I didn't tell you, Haskel can sing his butt off, okay?
He used to sing.
Look. All right, go ahead. Finish telling us about this group in Motown.
Yeah, so it's called Straight Vocals. And we got signed with Motown. We was able to do an album called Motown Comes Home. And that went on to get Grammy-nominated, those things. But I was around these amazing musicians, and I saw how they led musically.
Hello, and welcome to the Leadership Reality Podcast with your girl, Tige Charity. This podcast is for C-suite leaders to discuss their experiences and provide insight, encouragement, and inspiration for seasoned and inspiring leaders, offering valuable solutions to today's challenges that will inspire, ignite, and invigorate new and seasoned leaders to walk in their God-given authority with compassion, kindness, and empathy. So sit back, relax, and be prepared to be inspired with today's episode of Leadership Reality. Thank you. Welcome back to another episode of Leadership Realities with me, Tige Charity, where we will be sharing tales from the top. Today's guest is my friend and brother from a different set of parents, the one and only Haskel Jackson Jr. Haskel is a multi-Grammy-nominated producer and a 3-time #1 Billboard producer. Whoop, whoop. He is the founder and CEO of Haskel Jackson Entertainment, Genesoul Productions, and the Genesoul Music Lab, which is located in LA near LAX. It's a fully equipped, industry-standard recording studio development center. Haskel is also the CEO of Music for Your Mental Health. This highly sought-after program fosters the creation of music as a therapeutic tool for youth, young adults, and adults. Music for Your Mental Health has recently partnered with the Los Angeles Department of Mental Health. That's huge, y'all, because it's not easy to get a partnership with DMH, let me tell you. And if you think that's impressive, Haskel ran the Kanye West Foundation for over 6 years, where he was instrumental in providing opportunities for underserved students to expose them to the music industry without compromising their education, alongside the late Donda West. Haskel provided music opportunity for kids and resources who normally would not have this opportunity. So Jackson's journey through the music industry has been steady for 30 plus years. Haskel! Hey. Welcome to the show, my friend. Y'all, I'm going to try to pace myself. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to try to pace myself. Because Haskel and I go way back. Yes. And I am so happy and so excited you said yes. Yeah. The man's running multiple businesses and nonprofits and working with, these big-time celebrities. So thank you for taking time.
Absolutely.
To come and sit
I'm
with your
excited
girl.
to be here. I love what you're doing. The set is beautiful. You're doing your thing. I'm super excited about what you're doing and just who you are. I'm here.
Well, the feelings are mutual.
Yeah.
So thank you, because I'm not a 3-time nominee, nothing. Okay, and I ain't got no #1 Billboard. No, I'm just messing with you.
You got enough accolades in this place.
I love it. So look, let's talk leadership reality.
Yeah, let's do it.
I want to know, just from you growing up, when did you realize that you had leadership qualities? When did Haskel step into this leadership type role?
I would say it was how I was raised. I lost my mom when I was 6, and she was in a diabetic coma from 3 to 6. Then not having a father in my life, being raised by my grandmother, brought things that I had to kind of grow up fast, and I was raised around my uncles and aunties.
Okay.
Saw a lot of things that I probably shouldn't have seen, but I think what that did is it grew me up kind of thinking about self-preservation, survival methods.
Okay.
Like, how do you last? How do you stick in there when things get tough? So from that perspective, I started playing sports, and sports really helped me identify leadership qualities, longevity, sustainability. How do you get to the goal line? How do you finish? How do you finish when things are hard? So one of the first opportunities was I was in a singing group signed to Motown.
Oh, y'all, I didn't
for
tell you
10
Haskel can
years.
sing his butt off, okay?
He used to sing.
Look. All right, go ahead. Finish telling us about this group in Motown.
Yeah, so it's called Straight Vocals, and we got signed with Motown. We was able to do an album called Motown Comes Home, and that went on to get Grammy-nominated, those things. But I was around these amazing musicians, and I saw how they led musically, and I learned from that. And then I ended up being the musical praise team leader for New Dawn Christian Village. Where we both had the most amazing pastor, Frank Wilson.
Yes, we did.
And Frank Wilson was a legend and a dominant force at Motown. He switched over, became a pastor, created New Dawn Christian Village, and asked me to head up the praise and worship department. So that was one of the first times that I had a rally of singers that I had to lead. And then from there, then opportunity with Kanye West Foundation came, and that was a bigger stage. You know, so from there, those years were intricate in who I am today. And I had seen some things, I had to make decisions in hard times. There were moments where I didn't know what to do. And I had to rely on my ears, listening and following. You can still follow as a leader.
Absolutely.
And I had to position myself to continue to follow as I led, and be humble and you know, just that perspective helped a lot in my leadership.
You know, I got so many questions just going through my head. I want to definitely talk about the companies that you have, your production studio, but I also want to know, what was it like, though, working with the Kanye West Foundation? Let me put some respect on the man's name, all right? Mr. Kanye West. What was it like working with his production or his foundation?
His foundation, it was amazing. His mother, Donda, she was a professor at Chicago University, I think. And so she was very educated. She was very much into moving our culture forward educationally. And so when she brought me in to lead that aspect, I took it as like handing me the torch and say, run with this. And right before we opened the foundation, we did all this work, one-on-one work, creating a curriculum and lesson plans. And then right before we were about to open, she passed away.
Oh my gosh.
It was devastating because her vision for what she wanted us to do, she had it all in her. But I was able to spend enough time with her to get those nuggets. And I had to take that torch when she passed and keep running. And that was tough.
I'm sure.
Because I was never in a position like that I was responsible over the education of kids, the curriculum, the lesson plans, what kids were doing, how long they needed to be there, what they were learning. So it was a music production. I was building studios inside classrooms.
Oh, wow.
And allowing kids that would come from English or math or whatever their classes within a school day and then end up in a music production class.
Wow.
So I had to like put all that stuff together. So it really just dropped me in the middle of an opportunity, and I had to do a lot of listening and building from that vantage point. So
God does that, right?
God just
What
drops
did he
you.
do? Just like for real? Like, really, God? I ain't ready. He's like, you ready. You as ready as you
gonna
need
get
to be.
ready. That's right. That's what I had to experience. Yeah.
Wow, that is amazing. So when did you start Genesoul production and the Haskel Jackson Entertainment, project? And I know some of the artists that you've worked with are just some really amazing people. Talk about just starting your own.
My own started, I think, right while I was in the group. I started the group in college when I was at CSUN. I went to Cal State Northridge.
Okay.
And while I was there in the dorms, starting the group, doing the business and singing and all of that stuff, it kind of galvanized all that information for me of what business looks like and what it looked like and how it needs to be operated. And so from there, that's when my ideas started rolling. I'm like, I can write. I had to learn to produce. I had to learn to save my money to buy music equipment.
Oh, yeah.
And then when I had Genesis, my baby girl, years later.
Who's a phenomenal young lady. She's a makeup artist.
She's a makeup artist. Give a shout out to Genesis Effects.
Yes.
Go look her up.
Go
She's
look her
amazing. Yeah. She does special effects and beauty makeup. Amazing.
We brought her on set once as a side note, and I think Genesis may have been like 10.
She was young.
And she did the special effect makeup, and everybody was like, who did this makeup? I'm like, the child that's running around. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. But
so yeah, she has some great things coming up and as well. But so I named my company after Genesis. It's called Genesoul. So it's a play on the beginning of soul. So the beginning of soul. So once I did that, that was more my production arm. And then I created UTL Music, which is my publishing. And that's acronym for Unto the Lord. And people don't even know.
I like
UTL Music. So that's been in existence over 30 years. And then from there, I would do just so many different parts of the business, traveling as an artist, putting bands together, live shows, in studio recording. I did everything. And I'm like, why did you do everything? And I realized I was an entertainment company. So then that's when I created Haskel Jackson Entertainment. Now it's an umbrella for the many different things that I'm doing because it just spells out what it is. And I'm able to hire different people, different musicians, artists, to get the job done. So, yeah.
Name some of the artists you've worked with. Because we were just talking before we started taping, and I was telling you how much I love Donnie McClurkin's song, Walking Authority. You're like, yeah, I worked with Donnie. I'm like, yeah, of course you did. Of course you did. Name some of the artists that you've worked with.
Kanye West, Shaka Khan.
She's in concert tonight.
Where?
At the Hollywood Bowl.
Wow.
Yes, okay, y'all, just for date references, today is July the
26th.
Yeah. Yes, she's in concert at the Hollywood
she's
Bowl.
amazing. That experience for me was awesome. And at the time she had a foundation working with kids. So I came in and alongside and helped her, create some songs. Me and my big brother DOA, Derek Allen.
Okay.
And so we came in and helped her with that. So that was a great experience. Donnie McClurkin came by the studio and we worked on his latest album. Like three songs, I think. Yeah, he recorded at the studio. So
I wish I'd have known, so you would call me. So I just did a drive by. I love Mr. Donnie McClurkin.
Yeah. From Raven Simone to
she sings.
She had an album through Hollywood Records.
Really?
Nice voice. Yeah, I produced a song on her as well.
Amazing. I love that.
Helen Baylor.
Wow, love her too.
You traveled with her for 6 years singing background.
Really?
I learned a lot from her.
She's got such a rich, deep voice. Oh yes. Okay.
And she's spiritually grounded. Like I was young, and I don't want to get too deep, but she would go to these places like Jamaica and these different countries, and we'd go with her, and there would be spiritual warfare.
Oh wow.
And we'd have to be praying on stage and singing and warding off those spirits and setting people free.
Oh wow.
A lot of people don't know I went through that, like casting demons and stuff like that.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it was heavy.
That's good.
It was heavy.
You can't be that old. When I read 30 plus years, I'm like, 30 plus years? Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so I did that. So that built up a lot in me. Professionalism and how to do business, how to travel, how to keep the main thing, not becoming too familiar with musicians that are like legendary. And when you become too familiar, you kind of don't respect who they are after a while. They just become normal people. And we got to all watch that. We got to make sure to know who God put in position. And as we become friends with them, still respect who they are. And I learned that a lot being with her. So, I mean, it's a plethora. Tony Williams, plethora of artists that I've worked with. I've had an opportunity to work with.
But you have a heart for young people.
I do.
because you started your nonprofit, really using music as a therapy. What was that like, really building a nonprofit? Because nonprofit is a lot different than building a for-profit. Now you have this amazing partnership with the Department of Mental Health, which I said earlier is not an easy thing to do, especially here in LA. So the fact that you're doing that and have that partnership is amazing. Talk about the start of your organization and where you are now, and why. What is it about the young people that, you know, that kind of pull at your heartstrings?
Yeah, so the Foundation Music for Your Mental Health, and our website is musicforyourmental.org, if you guys want to look us up.
Yes, definitely.
But about 8 years ago, a young guy that I work with, his name is Jared Vincent.
Okay.
And I would work with him, and he had a group, a R&B group. And so after a while, he would always pop up to my studio and say, man, I just want to be around you. I want to work. I want to do some things. And so we just casually was talking, and we started talking about mental health. Excuse me. And it ended up being a discussion about how do we tie mental health and music. This was 8 years ago, before mental health was really popular.
Right.
So we started really talking about that conversation, and it turned into, well, let's not talk about it. Let's do something. So he said, I have a friend. His name is Stevie McBride. He's a child, what is it called? He's a therapist.
Child advocate?
Child advocate. He's a
psychologist?
A therapist. He's a therapist, a counselor, that kind of thing.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Stevie, for tearing up your, just ripped it apart.
It's all right, Stevie.
But
thank you for the work you do, though.
Yeah. So he said, I have a friend that is a child care development person, and let's bring him in and talk to him and see how we can kind of combine those roads. Brought him in, we started talking about it, got exciting, and we're like, okay, his brother is a part of my group, let's bring him in too. So now he's the financier, he's the chief financial officer.
Okay.
Stevie is the director of our therapy section.
Okay.
And so we have 6 people total.
Oh, wow. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
we have 6 people total. Music for Your Mental is all about bringing therapy through a musical vein.
Yeah.
Because a lot of kids don't know how to communicate their feelings and trauma. They can go through things and they carry it, and then those things turn into other things.
Absolutely.
So if we can catch it at the beginning, music gets their attention. And once we have their attention, you can teach a kid anything. Yes. But you gotta get their attention first.
And it's a universal love language.
It's a universal love language.
All love music.
We all love music.
No matter what the genre is.
Yes.
Music brings us together.
Absolutely.
So Haskel, tell me about the team that you've built to work with you in your organization.
Yeah, so we have our Chief Operation Officer, which is our COO, he's Jared Baisley.
Okay.
We have Sean McBride, he's our Chief Financial Officer, he's our CFO. We have Alicia Cherie, she's our Chief Brand Officer. She make us look good.
I know that
She put it together.
We all need one of them.
Yes. We have Stevie McBride, he's our clinical director.
Okay.
So he makes sure we are on par with everything that we do therapeutic wise, and making sure we're doing what we need to do. If we get a kid that's having some type of issues, he knows exactly what we need to do to make sure that's a safe place for them. And then we have our Sean Lewis, who is our curriculum director. So he's making sure that whatever we're teaching in class or bringing the information, that it's in a format that is aligned with music and therapy.
Okay.
So that's the team.
You got a dream team.
I got a dream team.
I love it.
And everybody I trust. I don't have to look over my shoulder.
Hold on. Let me sip some.
I don't have to look over my shoulder.
Did you say you don't have to look over your shoulder?
I don't have to look over my shoulder. And being in this industry, in the music industry, over 30 plus years, I've experienced relationships where I had to look over my shoulder.
Yes.
And it wasn't good. It didn't feel good.
Yeah.
It wasn't a safe place. It was, because I'm a free, I like to know whoever I'm around, I'm working with, that I can be creatively free.
Yes.
And so it took me a long time to bring people in my space because of that.
Yes.
And I was cluttered. I wasn't able to grow from there. We need people around us.
Yes.
So with this new team, Music for Your Mental, we all brought it to the table. We did interviews on each one of us.
Oh, I love that.
Literally did a podcast on each one of us, learned each other's stories, and found out what our weaknesses are, what our strengths are, what our losses, trauma, all of that. So that way when we work together, we know who we are. And then once we do it together, now we can give it out. That's the team I have.
That's amazing.
That's the team I have.
I love the fact that you talked about you learned each other. You took the time to learn each other and to learn the trauma so that you could know how to work together.
Yeah.
You know what?
Absolutely. That was important because we didn't want to just have a team that just looked like a team.
Right.
We want to know if you're struggling, if you're going through something and you're like, whatever, we want to be the therapy for you.
Yes.
So we're the therapy for each other.
That is amazing.
And it works. We're friends. We're brothers. We're like, we lean on each other. We talk. We're transparent.
Yes.
We're open, you know, so, and that helps. Because when it's time to go put that full front together and go tackle mountains and battle, I already know who on my team.
I know that's real.
I ain't got a question.
Yes.
I know this guy right here, he gonna come with it. I know she gonna come with it. So that's our perspective.
It is so important as leaders to bring like-minded people together around the mission of what you're doing.
Yeah.
And how has that been for you? So I'm assuming that the people that you brought together for the number of years, you all are still working together. Is it the same team?
Yeah, so it's the same team that we started with.
That is amazing.
So we're eight people in, 6 people in solid. And we meet every Tuesday. From the time we really made up our minds to create this, every Tuesday, faithfully, we have a meeting, whether it's about big business or about small, we touch base. And that has been like, it's been amazing. And us as African-American people, a lot of times you don't see in the therapy market, you don't see us. Right. So we wanted to make sure that we are very present and available in there. As we present our program, they're thrown aback.
Yeah.
Because they don't see us in that space.
Right.
And so when they see us do what we do in that mental health space, it's like, this is what we've been waiting for. So we come in as a fresh air, that fresh breath that's coming in with something different. Our community it's a stigma in a Black community that therapy is bad or therapy is for crazy people. No. Yeah. Therapy's good. Yeah, especially music therapy.
The best, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up thinking that, people that had, mental health challenges were the people that, went to see counselors, not understanding that, at times we all need somebody to help us navigate life and really talk through some tough things. And having a creative outlet has been a game changer.
Absolutely,
right?
Yes.
Has been an absolute game changer.
It has.
So let me ask you this. I mean, as a leader, who have you admired in your walk as a leader? Like, who are some of the people that you look up to? And I also want to go back to the fact that you said something about when you started your business, saving money. I want young people to know you can have a dream, but sometimes you got to put that investment in. So I wanted to make sure I didn't let that slide. Okay. Because we live in a time now, we want everything quick and we want it always to just kind of fall at our feet and maybe it be given. But I love the fact that you said, I began saving money. Yeah,
I began saving money. My first piece of equipment, I think it was $2,000. It was an MPC machine, $2,000. Wow. So the production industry, they know what that is. It's a drum machine. And I wanted it so bad, and I only had $100. Oh. So how did I get that? I had to go work, save. It took me like a year and a half to save up that money for that machine. Yeah. And then once I got the money, I went to the Guitar Center, bought my first MPC machine, and it felt amazing. I learned that thing inside and out. I read the manual cover to cover, and I began to create my own samples, my own sounds, and put them on those beat pads and create things. It was amazing. And then from that, I kept saving, and then I ended up having an entire in-house studio. Wow. And then now it's like I have everything I need. Put it like that.
You a whole studio near LAX. We're gonna make sure we drop that link in the chat so people can check it out.
Absolutely.
So, but tell me, who do you admire as a leader? Who are some of the leaders that you've admired?
Yeah, I admire Phil Jackson.
Okay,
Phil Jackson, the coach.
Yes.
I used to live my life based on kind of like a sports athletic kind of direction because I love how it's all set up and how you can become something through hard work and adversity and all of that. And even though you may lose, you still have an opportunity to win.
Yeah.
You just not, all is not lost. So Phil Jackson, the way he coaches, it's like he had the power to coach leaders. Kobe and Jordan alone are icons.
Yes, they are.
So how are you able to coach them? He didn't teach them how to play basketball. He presented them with opportunities and put them in options where they can defeat the other team.
Opponents.
That was his goal. So sometimes we look at coaching like, oh, you're gonna teach them how to play? No, he's presenting opportunities so that they can be their best person.
Yeah.
And that was just, I always loved his angle and how he coached. He didn't overcoach. He sat back, he sat on the bench, even when they were about to lose. He wasn't running up and down the sideline. He was sitting there. Why? Because he knew what he invested in them. He knew, I've already gave you the play.
Yes.
I've already positioned you. That's how God is to us. I already gave you the play. Remember what I gave you and use it. And that's why they won so many championships.
See, Haskel came here and you're about to start church in the Leadership Realities podcast, okay? I'm trying to hold myself, yeah?
Yeah.
But
So
that's
Phil
so
Jackson
good.
is one, and Deion Sanders.
Oh, yeah.
Deion Sanders coaches from a perspective of a player, a father, and a gatherer, now a galvanizer of people. So he was one of the best ever, like a legend in football. He played baseball as well. So the way he ran his life, it's just, people are like, well, how did you do all that? Now he's taking that information, bringing in these young people, and he's using Bible scripture to guide them. He's not ashamed of who he serves, who he follows. He's not ashamed of that on any level. I'm so sorry.
No, it's usually me whose phone. My phone is the one usually always ringing. I feel good.
That was an alarm too. Okay, but I'll backtrack. Deion Sanders is a leader to me because he's going through one of the worst times of his life health-wise. He had partial of his foot cut off because he had blood clots. He's battling blood clots while leading these young players to victory in their lives.
Yes.
That stands out to me. That's
stop,
like,
won't stop.
and they don't even see he's vulnerable, but they don't see it crushing him.
Right.
And he's going through this right in front of his players, and he's still galvanizing and bringing people together and sharing the word of God with them and sharing real words to these young men. That to me is hands down amazing.
That is amazing because
Yeah.
it really does show that no one is exempt from going through life
Yeah.
challenges.
Yeah.
We all go through it, but it's
all go
how we
through it.
respond to it
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
where we put our faith when
Yes.
we're going through it.
That's right.
So to see that and
Yeah.
to hear that is absolutely amazing. I didn't even know that about him.
Yeah. He dealt with it really bad to the point where he had his toes cut off, and now he had to have a part of his foot cut off, and it just keeps, so I think he's doing well now, but he was still Deion Sanders going through that and still smiling and encouraging and pushing. I mean, talking about God in front of whoever. I'm like, this man is doing it.
Wow.
That stands out to me. I salute my brother.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, I got a few more questions.
Yeah.
We're going to get back to questions about leadership, but I also want to know if an artist wants to work with you, and I know your schedule is busy because I've called you a few times. Like, Haskel, can I get a beat here? But how does somebody work with you? How do they get to work with Genesoul Productions? Or
I'm at a stage in my career now where obviously I can't work with everybody, but I do try to find, I put it like this. I've always tried to keep an area in my business for the give back.
Oh, good.
Like,
well, that's your
because
nonprofit
there's the nonprofit. Yeah. And so that slot is always filled, it seems like.
Of course it is.
The give back, the whatever. So to work with me, it's a referral base as well. Or if I meet someone and I feel like God is leading me to work with them, I'll do that as well. My close family and friends, that's automatic.
Yeah.
Like you ain't got to go through no hoops. I may be busy, but I'm gonna try to find time to work with the people I love,
Yeah.
you know.
I appreciate you because I know we had a youth who was struggling, and I called you and I said, look, Haskel, there's a young man I need you to just kind of take under your wings. And you came, you showed up, you connected with him, and I appreciate that because I know how busy you are. So for me to pick up the phone, I know you will show up for the people that you love and care about. So I'm grateful.
Tige, you are one of those ones that there are not a lot of people. You have to keep your circle tight, and there are people that are in your circle that when they call, answer the phone, because they're not just calling for whatever. It's like a purpose with it. So when I see Tige, I answer. Because I know you're about the forward push. You're about these youth, these young people.
Absolutely.
Pushing the old agenda out, bringing in opportunities for new, and setting up resources for the new generation coming in. That is not talked about enough. You are the Oprah. You are the Fawn Weaver.
Oh, Lord.
You are that.
Those are some big shoes.
I mean, you're sitting in it. Sometimes you're just going and going and going, and you probably don't see it, and you're like, no, you are that.
Wow, thank you.
And I appreciate you and what you're doing. Like, it's amazing. God, you have a call on your life, and you are changing the world one child at a time.
Whew, thank you.
Absolutely.
Well,
I will always answer your call.
God says, the Bible says, iron sharpens iron. And you just sharpening my blade all the way up. I'm feeling real sharp.
You deserve it.
No,
you deserve it.
Thank you. Thank you. So I just want to know, like, in terms of advice that you would give for young people, what would that be? Through the lens of leadership, because I do believe there are leadership qualities in all of us. Everybody is not going to be leading a $1 million company, or leading a a sports team.
Yes.
But you can be a leader in your classroom.
Correct.
You can be a leader on the playground. Like, what advice do you have for someone
a young leader,
to tap into their leadership qualities?
For one, don't be ashamed of who you are and what you have innately in you, because God put it there.
Yes.
Gifts and callings are given without repentance. That means we ain't did nothing to deserve to have those things.
See, there you go.
Thirdly, like, have integrity.
Yes.
Let your word be your word. And if you can't fulfill that, just own up to it and say, I can't do it.
Yeah.
Be a great listener.
Yeah.
Ask great questions. Your answers are a lot of times in your questions.
Yeah.
If you're a leader and you're leading something, I always try to put the right people around me so that I can delegate.
Yeah.
It don't mean I have all the answers, because I don't. Somebody else may have a different perspective or a different process, or may be able to introduce you to somebody else. So you don't have to know it all.
Right.
And then I would also say, if you have a team, respect the team. You don't have to over lead. You don't have to be all in every business. And what are you doing? What are you not doing? Does that give them a chance to fail?
Yeah.
Because you're going to fall forward. If you give them an opportunity to just make a mistake, okay? We saw that. What do you need to do different? Yeah. How do we not make this happen again? And give them another opportunity.
That's good.
And then they'll get stronger. But if we come in and just snatch, oh, you ain't doing that right, give me that. And we're doing everything. You just sit here and fix the lights. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
You didn't. You saw everything, and you know when it's where it needs to be for you. Yeah. But people had to do their job.
Yeah,
and that's a huge part of leadership, letting people do what they are here to do.
That's good.
Yeah.
What are some of the challenges you faced along the way, though, as you've developed as a leader, as you've built these companies and now building a nonprofit? What are some of the challenges you've had?
Like, for instance, it took us a while to get a part of LA Department of Mental Health for many different reasons. They are busy, and they've been around for decades, so they're huge.
It's a lot of red tape.
Yes, a lot of red tape. So we had to go through that red tape, and then we had to stand there long enough, continue to have those meetings, and it was at a point where we were like, man, is this gonna happen? Like, when is this gonna happen? All these lunch meetings and things like that, and we didn't understand it. And then after a while, we got another breath of fresh air and some wind. It was like, keep going. And so I realized the power in staying in something long enough to see the other side of victory.
That's good.
Because sometimes when people hit walls, they feel like this just ain't for me. What if it is, and you just gotta break down the wall?
Yes.
And then you break down that wall, and you hit to see another wall, and you're like, there's no way it could be this hard.
And you'll never know until you start breaking down those walls. You got to break down the first one.
Come on.
To know that you can break down the wall.
Come on.
Before you even attempt to get to the second one.
Before you attempt.
Haskel, somebody bring me the offering plate, because Haskel, you know what? I love
it's
Haskel.
like that. It's like that.
This is so good. So tell me just, some of the things you have coming up in your business. Let's talk about some of the projects you're working on. How the community can support you, especially as a nonprofit, because we need donations and partnerships and
support.
Contributions. So talk about some of the things you have coming up. We want to make sure we capture your website and all of that.
Okay. My personal website is haskeljackson.com. So you can find me there. The nonprofit, the 501c3 is musicforyourmental.org.
Musicforyourmental.org.
Okay. You go in there, you'll see our website, you'll see the team, you'll see where you're able to donate, and you'll see some of the things we've done. So what's coming up, so I just finished a movie called A Little Hope for Chicago. I scored it, did all the music, brought in a couple of friends to, thank you, and Kevin Nichols. It's an amazing film. The way it was filmed was something that hadn't happened before, so it's a different format.
Okay.
We won the Dance with Films, one of the highest awards for that film.
Congratulations.
It's a full-fledged, So that is coming out in different cities, different festivals. It's going to be in the Atlanta Festival, which I just found out. Yes.
Y'all, we're going to meet you there.
Yes.
The Kids in the Spotlight got 3 films that's going to the Bronze Lens Film Festival in Atlanta.
Yes.
So what's the name of your film?
A Little Hope for Chicago.
We're going to have to check it out. A Little Hope for Chicago.
Yeah. So Kevin Nichols he's the main actor. It's his life. And he's the writer as well. Leon Lozano is the director. Garrett Thompson, he's the producer.
Okay.
And I did the music. And then we had a whole host of team, and it's a phenomenal film. I think every school and every community needs it because it has heartache and it has triumph all at the same time. So it's a great film.
And the Bronze Lens Film Festival is an Oscar qualifying film festival.
Come on.
So that's even more amazing, right?
Yes.
And yours is a short film too?
Yeah, it's a full-fledged. It's a full length.
Oh, you got a feature length?
Yeah.
Oh, good. So we ain't in the same category. Yes. Feel better about that. But that's amazing.
So that's coming up. That's in the works right now. That's happening now. And then I go to New York next week to speak to over 20 kids in New York. And and
over 200 kids? Or?
Yeah, 200 youth. And I'll be talking about the things we're talking about now. Like, who are you? How do you establish your way? How powerful music is. Do you have leadership qualities in you?
Yes.
How do you react to different scenarios? How are you going to react with an attitude? Or are you going to assess that situation and act differently than maybe some of your peers?
Yeah.
And I'm going there to find out. And when I see it, I'm going to harp on that.
Yes.
And tell them you don't have to be like the people that are not reacting good. Because a lot of kids, that's peer pressure.
Absolutely.
You could have leadership qualities in you, and then the peer pressure will break you down, and you'll feel like you got to do what everybody else is doing.
Exactly. And you don't know who you are.
Yes.
You get lost, especially in the world of social media. You're seeing what somebody else is doing and what the trends are, and you think that, this is what you're supposed to be doing. It's like, no, honey, sometimes you're set apart. You're called to do something different. You're called to be greater. You're called to lead in this way. Or
Yes.
They got the right one.
I'm trying to take a fire out there.
Look,
I'm trying to take fire to the kids.
When you show up, it's there.
Hey, I'm trying. So
I love it.
So that's coming up. And just throughout the rest of this year, just some really cool musical things that are happening. So I'm excited. My studio is right over, right next to the Marriott and the Hilton, right on Century.
So can people book the studio even if they don't hire you as the producer? Because I know you're busy.
Yeah.
Or do you allow people to book the studio?
You can book the studio and bring
Okay.
your own engineers. We do live rehearsals there.
Oh, great.
Writing sessions. You can do podcasts there as well. It's a big enough space. Voiceovers. Do voiceovers too. You can do everything right there.
You know, this has been a treat for me. I feel like I've had church. My soul is feeling satisfied.
Same here.
Today.
Same here. Yeah.
It has been an absolute just pleasure. Guys, we got to wrap this up, and I don't want to wrap this up. Let me just put that out there right now. I don't even want to wrap this up right now, but we are going to wrap this up. Haskel, is there anything else you want to share? No, wait. Before I wrap it up, give me about just 3 words that people would use to describe you.
Okay. I would say integrity.
Yes.
Driven.
Yes.
And a go-getter.
I concur. I would describe you with those 3 words exactly. Thank you so much, Haskel. Ladies and gentlemen, that is it for our show today. I am so happy that you tuned in. I hope that you've heard something, a nugget of something. You had to have heard something today that will inspire you on your leadership journey. So until next time, stay tuned for Leadership Realities. Bye for now. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is our show for today. I hope you were inspired and you gained some valuable nuggets that will help you to become a better leader and to walk in your God-given authority. Bye, until next time.